So here I was telling you about event classes. In Java's library, there are predefined classes which are related to individual events. Now we will learn which events are associated with which classes in the form of a table. So before that, let us understand that these events are originally defined in two categories. One is AWT category and second is swings category. Now what is the difference between this AWT and swing that we are going to learn in our next chapter? Fine, in detail. So far, whatever programming we have done is with the help of AWT. AWT is little bit older version and Swing is an enhanced version. But anyway, for our usage, AWT doesn't make any difference. Like both are similar. In fact, AWT will be easier to learn initially. But then because swings are there in your syllabus, so in the next chapter we will learn swings and also we'll be using swing classes. So right now we will stick to AWT classes only. What is the full form of AWT? Can anyone answer? Yes, I have kept, I mean, you can unmute yourself and you can answer also. Yeah, Abstract Window Toolkit. So Abstract Window Toolkit is a package. In fact, it's a class in which we have different components, window components defined. Fine. And your graphics class is also defined in that only. So let us see uh, different, you can say, events which are defined in AWT and swing classes. But when it comes to events, we are going to make use of common events. Originally, they were defined in AWT and swing class also makes use of the same events which are defined. Fine. So anyway, so let us know more about event classes. So when it comes to Java event, it becomes a hierarchy of the classes. So hierarchy means you know that tree-like structure. It is like this. So below that, I mean, when you connect it to many other, so there are many child classes. Fine. So there is a hierarchy of classes like this, which are inherited from each other. So again, maybe this class is again some other class is inherited from this. So when you trace out the root, there is one class which lies at the root of all these event classes. What is the name of that root? That name of the root class is event object. As you can see, the name is combined here. I mean, two words are combined, E and O, uppercase, event object. Now, where does this class lie? This class is included in java.util package. Find the root of Java's event class. Now, yeah, then you may wonder how AWT and Swing is related. That slowly will come to know as we will start with the programming. So right now, just understand that the root class of this event classes is event object class, and that class is included in the package called as util, which is in turn included in Java. So java.util package includes this event object class. Fine. Now it is the super class of all the events. Now the constructor, when we want to create object of this event class, normally we are not going to use this super class. We are going to use the child classes only. But then you may wonder, why are we learning the super class? Just to know the methods which are defined in the super class. You know why? Why do we have to know about our grandparents? I mean, our ancestors. Of course, we should know their history. That is a different thing. But mainly, what asset they have left for us? What do we? What have we received from them? That is important, isn't it? So similarly, this event object class, which is the root class of all the events, although we are not going to directly use it, we are going to use the existing or the child and grandchild classes. But the methods which are defined in this root class, they are automatically inherited by all the child classes, isn't it? So to learn those methods, we are just briefly learning this class here. So exam point of view, directly they may not ask you all this, but when it comes to explaining event classes, you will have to write a little bit about it. Fine. So how is the event class object is created? Event class object is created with one parameter, uh, which is of the type just simple object. Fine. So SRC is the object that generates this particular event. So normally we are not going to use it. So don't bother about what exactly this means. Now, event object contains two methods. As I told you, why this root class is important to us, that is only because of the methods which are defined in that. It is something like you can compare it to the asset of your ancestors. You may not know much about the ancestors, but the asset left by them, definitely you will be practically using it in your life, isn't it? So here there are two methods which are left or which are given by this event object class. One is get source and toString. What does get source do? It returns the source of the event. So when you want to know source, we can make use of object dot get source. And toString, actually this just gives you the string equivalent of the event name. That's all. Fine, not much used, but just theoretically to understand, we have learned this. Now the class AWT event, which is defined within the java.awt package, is a subclass of event object. You may wonder here, AWT event is a child of event object class, isn't it? Event object is the parent of AWT. But how is that both of them lie in different package? That is possible. Last time we have learned that you can even inherit a class from another package. Fine. You can compare this mechanism here to something like adoption process. You know, how is the nominee, or you can say ancestry defined? Of course blood relations are required, like father gives birth to a child and then automatically legally that child becomes the nominee or the receiver of all the assets which are given by the parent, isn't it? But sometimes in rare cases, rare occasions, maybe the situation is that the particular person doesn't have a child. Fine. Then in that case, they call it as um, I don't know what in English. What do they call dattak? That the process. What is it called as? Um, huh? Yeah, adoption. So when a person doesn't have his own child, and then there's someone is required, isn't it? Either you make a will and donate it to some society or organization, or you can adopt a child who will just carry forward your assets, or you can say your name as well, isn't it? So uh, you can adopt. So now the situation is something like this. I'll show you in the form of a picture. Now this is a parent. Now you know that either by blood relation, that means by the process of giving birth, he may have a child. Or if he doesn't have a child by that process, then he goes for adoption. So when he adopts, actually this particular parent belongs to different, you can say, family. Like for example, maybe that family we will call it as the package. Now this belongs to different package. Now this the class, actually it is not, uh, it is a child of this class, but it is not by the blood relation, it is by the process of adoption. So but actually it belongs to a different family. So it is something like this, isn't it? So here lies one more family. So the root of this is actually this, but then but because of the legal process of adoption, now this person becomes a child of this, isn't it? So in this case, you can see the child belongs to different package and the father belongs to different package. Of course, by the legal procedure later on, this child also receives a name in case of adoption in our example. Fine. But now let us see technically what has happened. This father or the parent class belongs to different package and the child class belongs to different package. Although it belongs to different package, it can inherit the property of this parent class. So that means all the methods which are defined in this class will be received by this child. But actually, physically it is located in some other package. I hope it is clear to you. Yes? Is it clear? Raise your hands. Only if it is clear. Yeah, fine. If anyone has doubt, you can even ask. Fine. So now, what is the parent here? What parent we learned? Event object class, which is the root of all the event classes. And now we are talking about this particular class, which is that AWT event. So here, this child is actually AWT event. So we are going to learn more about this AWT event class, which is a child of this event object class. So let us, again, we are not directly going to use AWT event. We are again going to use different classes which are defined in that. Fine, different events which are defined in that class. Anyway, so let us learn more about this AWT event class. Fine. So the class AWT event defined within java.awt package is a subclass of event object. It is a superclass directly or indirectly of all the AWT based events used by the delegation event model. Uh, there is one more method which is defined in this AWT event class called as getID. It is used to determine the type of the event. Fine. Again, not much used method, but just for theoretical understanding. Now let us see, there is one more. Now java.awt.event class. So here, which class you have learned? AWT event. This class lies in java.awt package. But then there is a sub package called as java.awt.event. Fine. Um, which defines various types of events in it. So that's why last time in our program. So let me switch to that program again, just for your recollection. So here we have used button click event, that is action event, isn't it? For action event, which package we have imported? java.awt.event.star. And that time I told you all the events are defined in this package called as event, which is in turn included in AWT package of Java. Fine. So now the reference has come that most of the events what we use practically, we are going to make use of all the events which are defined in this package called as java.awt.event package. But just to know the ancestry or the hierarchy, we learned two classes just now. One is event object class, which lies in which package? Java.util package. And then the child of it was AWT event class, which is defined in AWT package. But actually, we are going to concentrate more or learn more about the classes which are defined in this java.awt.event package. Little confusing, but I hope you have understood the relation here. Clear? Yeah. So now let us learn more about the package called as java.awt.event package. It is a package. So as you know, the package names are written every time in small case. So here we have a package, and let us learn more of the classes which are defined in this package. Now this package defines several types of events that are generated by various user interface elements. So which are user interface elements? So let me just quickly tell you about user interface elements. So you know that when it comes to such element, you must have seen in case of your login page, whenever um, you will be provided with such empty box which asks you for your username and password, wherein you type, the cursor will be blinking in that. Such type of component is called as text box. Then you have list box, you have radio buttons, you have check box, you have normal buttons, you have tabs. So many components are there. All these components are defined in AWT package. Fine. And the events related to all those components are defined in AWT.event package. Fine. Now there is a table which talks about all these event classes and their relevance with different components. One class or one type of event may be associated with several actions. Is that clear? So it's not necessary that action event is related with only button click event. It may be related with various other actions as well. So let us first read and then let us understand more about it. Or simultaneously, let us learn uh, each of the event class more in detail. Action event. So there is first class called as action event. It is generated when a button is pressed. That we have already learned, isn't it? Action event. It is generated when a button is pressed, not only when the button is pressed. It is also generated in other occasions. Which are those other occasions? Another occasion is a list item is double clicked or a menu item is selected. Now to make you understand more in detail about this, uh, okay, I have just copied one video which has very nicely, uh, I mean, you can say, um, you will understand the relation between different components and those actions in the form of animation. So I would like to display that video, but now the time is less, so we will see it in our next class. So right now, just let us read more from this event classes. So I hope you understood what exactly you mean by list item is double clicked or menu item is selected. That we will learn in detail in our next class. Second event class is key event. Look at their cases as well. Because they are classes, they always start with uppercase. And the first letter of the second word also starts with uppercase here. So key event generated when the input is received from the keyboard. So whenever user types something from the keyboard, you get key event. So in this first chapter, you will be learning two journal programs. One is about mouse events and second is about key events. Remember that. So third event class, what we are going to learn is mouse event. Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello? मेरा क्लास चल रहा है मैडम, प्लीज डिस्कनेक्ट कीजिए, मेरा कनेक्शन है मोबाइल से. Yeah, yeah. Am I audible? Yeah, yeah. So here you have third class called as mouse event. It is generated when the mouse is dragged. Remember, mouse move and drag are two different things. Now what I am doing with my cursor is mouse move. Okay. And what do you mean by drag? Press, keep it pressed and drag. It is something like this. You know, when you press and drag, the text gets selected. This is called as mouse drag. So mouse event is generated when the mouse is dragged as well as when the mouse is moved. Then when it is clicked, when it is pressed. You may wonder what is the difference between click and press. Click is the procedure of getting the button down and coming back to the original state. You know, mouse button, the entire click process happens when we click. That means when we press the button and it again comes back to its original state. That entire, you can say, process is called as click. But then when you divide that entire process into two parts, there are actually two parts. One is when we press before releasing. That action when we press the button is actually considered a separate event which is called as pressed. And then the pressed button when we release, the procedure of bringing that button normal to the top position, which is Pressed means it will be there, pressed at the bottom. Bringing it back to the top position is called as releasing the button. So there are two different sub events again. One is pressed and second is released. You may wonder why these events are created with these small actions. Because, in the programs, slowly as you can say, as more and more enhancement you do to your GUI programming, it becomes more user friendly, and then your application may become more popular. Fine. So you will understand. I will just give you the comparison between how these events are actually used in real-time application in my next class. So right now, just understand that there are different events for mouse dragging, mouse moving, then clicking a mouse, pressing a mouse, or releasing a mouse. How many events are there total? Drag, move, click, press, and release. 5 events. So mouse event class actually explains, or it includes 5 different events. 5. Then 2 more are there. Which are those 2? When the mouse enters or exits a component. What do you mean by entering and exiting a component? Now just take the example of this window. Uh, Now, can you see my mouse is entering the window? Um, you can say this text page. See, my cursor also changes its shape when I enter and exit. Right now it is in the arrow shape, right? At the right side on the scroll bar, I am moving my mouse. It is in the arrow shape, arrowhead shape. See, slowly I am going to bring it on this particular Word document. When I bring it on the Word document, it changes its shape from the arrowhead to I. Fine. Why this arrow shape is changing? This is how Word application is being programmed. It makes, it changes the shape so that it becomes easy for the user to understand. See, when I'm moving it through the text, if it would be in the shape of arrow, it would have covered some of the alphabets. So to just make it more and more user friendly, it has changed its shape to I. So now when I again take it outside this particular area, again it changes its shape back to the arrow shape, isn't it? So this is happening with the event called as mouse entered. When the mouse enters this particular area, the shape changes to I. When the mouse exits this particular area, the shape changes back to the arrowhead. So these two events are called as mouse enter and mouse exited. Fine. And this your Word application is already programmed. What should happen when the mouse should enter the text area and it should exit the document area? What should happen? That event we are seeing the actual live example here. Fine. So these two events are there. It's totally related to mouse event. There are 7 events. Fine. Drag, move, click, press, release, and then enter and exit. Why these are important? Because this is your first journal program related to these 7 events. Clear? Anyways, now it's time up. You might have another class at 11. So all of you just give your attendance. Is there any doubt? Those who have given their attendance can exit.